My dear students, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to give you complete solution of the lesson A Respectable Woman, which you have to study under compulsory English of grade 12 according to new course. Let's get started. Learn English with Lakshman. Why was Mrs. Baroda not happy with the information about Governel's visit to their farm? जब गोभर्नेल आउँदैछ भन्ने थाहा पाइन् नि मिसेस बरोडाले त्यसपछि त्यो सूचनाले तिनी खुसी भइनन् किन मिसेस बरोडा was unhappy when she learned about Governel's visit because she had spent the winter working hard on the sugar plantation and was looking forward to a peaceful time alone with her husband. Instead, Gaston invited his friend to stay at their farm. She was also uneasy because Governor was a stranger to her and she was uncertain about his personality and presence in their home. How was Governor different from Mrs. Baroda's thinking? Mrs. Barodako thinking भन्दा Governor कसरी फरक थियो? Mrs. Baroda had imagined Governor to be a tall, serious, unfriendly, and unattractive man who wore spectacles. However, when she met him, she realized he was completely different from what she had expected. He did not look as strange or unpleasant as she had imagined. Although he was quiet and reserved, he was not the kind of man she had pictured in her mind earlier. How does Mrs. Baroda compare the guest Governor with her husband? त्यो गुभर्नेल भन्ने जुन गेस्ट छ नि उसलाई आफ्नो हस्बेन्डसँग कसरी कम्पेयर गरिन्छ मिसेस बरोडा compares Governor with her husband Gaston and finds them very different. She thinks Governor is quite serious and not very sociable, unlike Gaston, who is cheerful, friendly, talkative, and entertaining. She feels that Governor lacks the lively and engaging is quite serious and not very sociable, unlike Gaston, who is cheerful, friendly, talkative, and entertaining. She feels that Governor lacks the lively and engaging quality that make her husband pleasant to be around. Because of this, she initially finds Governor less interesting and less enjoyable as a companion. Companion. Why and how did Mrs. Baroda attempt to change Governor's solitary habit? Governorको एकान्त स्वभाव जुन थियो नि त्यसलाई चेन्ज गर्न मिसेस बरोडाले के गरिन् र किन Mrs. Baroda wanted to change Governor's solitary habit because she wished him to become more open, friendly, and talkative. She was curious about him and hoped to understand his quiet nature better. To encourage him, she accompanied him on his walks to the mill and along the battle, hoping he would speak more freely. However, Governor remained reserved and continued to prefer silence and solitude. How does Gaston not agree with his wife on Governor's character? Sorry, Gaston disagrees with Mrs. Baroda's opinion of Governor because she sees him as a dull, quiet, and unsociable, while Gaston considers him a respectable and admirable person. He explains that Governor has many fine qualities and is intelligent and capable. Gaston believes his friend is simply tired from heavy work and needs rest. Therefore, he feels his wife is judging Governor unfairly and encourages her to think more positively towards him. sorry, to think more positively about him. Why is Gaston surprised by his wife's expression towards the end of the story? यो स्टोरीको अन्त्यमा श्रीमतीको कुराले ग्यास्टन किन अचम्म पर्छ? Gaston is surprised at the end of the story because Mrs. Baroda suddenly changes her attitude towards Governor. Earlier, she had complained that he was quiet, gloomy, and uninteresting, and she did not enjoy his company. However, later, she tells Gaston that she would be kind and hospitable if Governor visited again. This unexpected change surprises Gaston because it is completely different from her earlier opinion and behavior. Reference to the context. What is the reason for conflict in Mrs. Baroda's mind? What role does Mrs. Baroda, being a respectable woman, play in this story? The conflict in Mrs. Baroda's mind begins when she develops unexpected feeling for her husband's friend, Governor. As a respectable woman, she feels responsible for protecting her dignity, loyalty, and social image. The story mainly presents the conflict between desire and self control. Although she wishes to express her affection for Gouvernail, social values and moral responsibility prevent her from doing so. Thus, her sense of respectability controls her emotion and actions. Sketch the character of Gouvernail and contrast it with Gaston. Gouvernail is introduced as Gaston's college friend who works as a journalist. He is quiet, reserved, unsociable, and prefers spending time alone, which makes him appear boring to Mrs. Baroda at first. He is also described as heavy smoker. In contrast, Gaston is friendly, cheerful, and sociable, while Gouvernail has an introverted and mysterious personality. Gaston is open, lively, and enjoys interacting with others, showing a clear difference in their characters. Why does Mrs. Baroda not disclose her feeling towards Gouvernail to her husband? उनले बरोडाले गुभर्नेल प्रतिको उनको जुन फिलिङ थियो नि त्यो कुरा किन बताइन? Mrs. Baroda does not disclose her feeling towards Gouvernail to her husband because she wants to maintain her image as a respectable woman. For her, being respectable means following social norms, remaining loyal to her husband, and controlling emotions that may lead to regret. Therefore, she keeps her feelings hidden instead of expressing them openly as she does not want to go against moral values. The last three sentences of the story make a kind of twist. After reading these three sentences, how will you analyze Mrs. Baroda's attitude towards Governor? Mrs. Baroda's final words create an unexpected twist in the story. When she says, I have overcome everything, you will see, this time I will be really kind to him. It seems that she has regained control over the emotions she developed for Governor. Her statement suggests that she has overcome the inner conflict between attraction and self-discipline, showing her desire to remain a respectable woman and follow social expectations. However, these final lines can also be interpreted differently. Sorry, instead of completely rejecting her feelings, Mrs. Baroda may have understood and accepted her hidden desires. Sorry, her changed attitude suggests a new confidence and curiosity towards Gouvernail. This implies that rather than simply obeying society's expectations, she has started recognizing her own wants and emotions as an individual. Therefore, the ending shows her gradual shift from strict self control towards a deeper awareness of her personal desire as a woman. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you will be updated whenever I upload a new video. Thank you.